In previous video, we discussed basic select statement and basic use of where statement. Basically, with where statement, we are filtering data, right? We explained how to use operators and how to use between. Now let's continue explaining it, and we use like statement in this video. Again, open new window, new query window. Again, use this AdventureWorks database. And let's use this table again. Let's select information from this table. And filter data, for example, with first name. Let's say we want to filter first name. That is like, this is new. K and %. What I mean by that is that the first name should start with a K, and after K can be any number of characters, and there can be any character. I don't care, right? With %, I don't care how many characters there will be and what kind of characters there will be also. Let's run it. And as you can see that my first name starts with only K and continues with anything else. You can use this % not only at the end, also at the start. For example, you don't care about how your word first name starts, but it should end with a K. Right? So every name here ends with a K. Another possible use of this % is to use at first and at the end. It means that in between there should be at least one K. Okay, let's run it. So there is only one K. Here's also only one K, and so on. This is for the %. Let's discuss another wildcard. And another wildcard is that, for example, I want to start with K, but after K, I want to have only 2 characters. For example, and use underscores for like numbering these characters. Run this. And as you can see, my first name is Kim. So K and I am 2 characters, right? Again, with the %, same example. You can use this underscores at front, obviously, and write something like that. We don't have any name like this. Also, you can join these wildcards together, like this. Start with something, continue with K, and after K, have at least 2 characters. For example, this name. Start it with something, REBE, then K, and after K we have only 2 characters. Another option how to use like statement and wildcards is like this. For example, you can give, let's use last names now. Last names, and I want to my last name to start with CHO, right? And after that, I want to have a range of characters. For example, from I to, let's say, from I to K, if we have something like this, obviously. And we have Choi, right? You can include I, R, or K. So anything in between these 3 characters. Let's run it again. Again, we have some choice. Let's create another example. Let's say we have last name B E R, and let's combine this like wildcards. For example, I want to have R say G, and after that %, if we have this kind of information. And we have, for example, in last name, we have this kind of information according to this wildcards. So basically I included the wildcard %, this brackets, and so on. So basically you can do whatever you want. It's up to you. And what is your task? You need to read it carefully. Next thing that I want to discuss in this video is how to use more than one predicate. For example, till now we will be using only one predicate. What I mean by predicate is that, like, we have this table, right? In where statement we are only writing, for example, equal is more than 100, right? This is one predicate. But what if I want to filter my data but with not only one column but multiple columns? So here I can include something like this, and first name, like, again, let's use K and %. Do we have this kind of information? We have. So both of these should be true when we are using AND statement. So this needs to be a true and this needs to be true. By this, for example, this 105 is more than 100, and also my first name starts with K and ends with anything else. We can write something else also by using more than one predicates. For example, we have first name like this, right? We can use OR statement, or my first name should start, for example, with B. And it means that my first name can start with B and also can start with an K. Let's see. Also we have B and we have K, right? And also we need that business entity ID should be more than 100. So I think it's all clear. We can use more than one predicates in our where statements. One more thing that I want to discuss in this video is in operator. Again, let's use this table, or let's change. Let's use something else. For example, product.products table. Let's select star from this table, right? This is different table. We have a bunch of information, but we want to use like in operator. This in operator is very useful when multiple values must be in compared to the same columns. What I mean by that, for example, we can write where product ID, let's use product ID, is in 1, 2, let's use real numbers that we have here in our table, and this. And let's run it. And we will have only these 3 rows. So my product ID is in these numbers. Also, I can use like the numbers that does not exist in my table, obviously. And it will be like, oh, I have this number also. Let's use something bigger like this. And as you can see, this number is not in my table, but I can include in statement. This is it for this video. In this video, we discussed like, we discussed different wildcards, %, _, ranges. Also, we discussed how to use more than one predicate. For example, we can have AND statement in between, AND statement again, OR statement. With OR statement, either this should be true or this should be true. And also we discussed how to use in, right? If we are using in statement, it means that our product ID should be in these numbers. Again, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe. See you next time.